All right. So even if you have one or two challengers, guys, sometimes I will go back to some of my old groups and I will see that
Because there's also future Riley.
when I literally started out, I had probably, I'd say, 3 people in a challenge group and nobody said anything. So don't feel like, if you can't spread, make sure you guys are on mute too. Sorry, I'm trying to get everybody really quick. Um, don't feel like you can't spread your wings and do your own challenge group. And if you need some help with post or things like that, just let me know and I will help you with that. But just for some housekeeping tips really quick, I turned the graduate into You Are Beautiful. So if you wondered what happened, I turned the graduate into You Are Beautiful. And the New Year, New You challenge has actually the one with just the star, because there was a star and a snowman one. The one with just the star is kind of like our new graduate. So I've combined the two of those. And some of you guys that have your own challenge groups, for example, Jamie, now, you're in 17 of our challenge groups, and some of the ones that I'm running, and Jamie's cool, her and I have been to school since kindergarten together. I kicked you out of a few of them because I'm commenting on the fact that you did leg day 87 times. So some of you guys have been like shuffled out of them if you didn't have any customers and moved into others. And if you get confused, just reach out to me. And those of you that left the nest and you are flying on your own, keep flying because you don't even need to worry about it, right? The next thing is really quick, we are doing a retrain. So tomorrow we are starting our Boom Empire Fitness Coaching University. So even if you have been a coach for 2 years, okay, and that's one of the reasons I didn't call it Coach Basics, because you're like, hey, I already went through that. We are doing a retrain starting tomorrow, even for myself, Randy, Michelle Katz, no matter who you are in that group starting tomorrow. If you are not in that, please reach out to me. The link has been posted in the coach group. We are doing a complete retrain of all of our coaches. We're going to pretend you know nothing, starting from the ground up, so everybody is on the same page, and that is starting tomorrow. You want to make sure that you participate in that and add your new coaches to it. Also, really quick, I posted in the coach group for you guys to do one-on-one calls with me. If you would like to do a one-on-one call with me to go over, maybe you are suffering with objections, or maybe you are struggling with self-confidence, or maybe you are struggling with just, working out or sharing your journey or just putting yourself out there. No matter what it is, guys, please sign up for a one-on-one call with myself or your upline coach. But if you would like to do one with me also, that is fine. The link is in there. And if you can't find the link because there are so many groups and so many comments, believe me, I get it. Please reach out to me and I'll shoot you over my scheduler link and you can sign up on there. The last thing we're going to do is, before I turn this over to Ashley, and I know her time is valuable, so I'm talking so fast my feet hurt. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Literally. All right, so we're gonna do some recognition really quick. Success Club, myself with 10, my husband with 8, Bailey Glazer with 8, Carrie Steelman Smith with 8, Carly Glassman with 4, Megan Gutenberg with 6, Dedra Wilson with 4, Bertice Martinez with 2, Kelly Wiseman with 2, Jennifer George with 2, Christine Sudowick with 2, Michelle Katz with 4, Valerie Nelson with 2. We also have Kim Jones with 10, Kayla Hewitt with 6, Kim Masters with 8, Kathy Ottaway with 4. Like, obviously, Tim Ottaway and Kathy, like, they're like, so me, way to get after it, guys. And then we also have a lot of people that have been adding new coaches, top recruiters. My husband so far with 5, myself with 4, Dedra with 2, Michelle Katz with 1, Carrie Steelman Smith with 4 coaches, Katie May with 1, Megan Gutenberg with 2, Kelly Wiseman with 2, Bailey Glazer with 2, Carly Blassman with 1, and Catherine Dementi with 1. And Coach of the Week, congratulations, Amanda Hux. And we are going to be posting our Coach of the Week now on Fridays. So congratulations, Amanda. You have gotten Coach of the Week for 2 weeks in a row because we are stalling on that. And if anybody can send Suzanne Myers really quick the link for this call, she is trying to jump on and can't find it. So what we are going to do right now is I am going to turn this call over to one of my good friends, Ashley Feldyson. She came into coaching about 3 years ago, which I think the first time we met was at a retreat. I think it was in upstate New York about 3 years ago. I think that's the first time that we met, or maybe it was Coach Summit. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but she is full of energy, super awesome. She has been building her business like a rock star for the past 3 years. She is a retired school teacher like myself, building an amazing business with her team, Team Elevate. She is a 5-star diamond coach in her first business center, a 2-star diamond coach in her second. She is also a team leader, 19th in the company. And I'm just going to say it again, has been in this business for 3 years. So I think that that is awesome because it shows you guys that no matter how long you have been in here, if you stick to the basics, you can build the shit, excuse my language, out of a business by following the basics. So Ashley, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy Sunday night to be on our call.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. It's kind of funny that you turned it over to me like that, because my call is going to be all based around keeping it stupid simple. Like, guys, I run the simplest business ever. I just do the same thing every single day. So first, I know I see a couple new faces that I don't recognize, so I am going to tell a little bit about my story because I think that my story plays a major part in my success in this business. So I'll go into vision, mindset, and then developing systems and keeping it crazy simple. So like Marie said, my name is Ashley Feldyson. I am 25 years old. I started this business when I was 22. I came in to this business like most of us, right? Not even knowing there was a business behind it. I came into this because I needed something for myself. I needed an outlet. And so I was a first grade teacher. I started teaching in September of 2014 as a 21-year-old, and I had just moved to Maryland to be with my boyfriend. And I registered for grad school. I wanted to be a reading specialist, and I moved in with my boyfriend's parents. We were living in their basement. We were living in like 100 square feet, or maybe even more. I don't know. I'm terrible with that. I don't know how big it was. It was a little tiny little basement with a half bath. And yeah, that was like the beginning of my journey. And so, as you can imagine, going from living, I was free. I graduated from high school. I went straight to my undergrad and college, and I lived alone. I had an apartment, and then I moved in with my boyfriend. So my life had this major change. I was going to teaching full time, and I was going to grad school 3 nights a week. So with that stress and huge change in my life came an enormous amount of weight gain. And I was already at an unhealthy weight in college, but I ended up gaining a substantial amount of weight throughout grad school, throughout teaching. And so in January of 2015, I was like, all right, I have the second wind. I'm going to go, because I had an hour-long drive every single day. I was going to wake up at 4 a.m. I was going to drive to LA Fitness, which was my halfway point. I was going to run 3 miles every single day. I was going to shower there, get ready, finish 30 minutes, and drive to school. Well, I did it for I remember I did it up until Tyler's birthday, which is my boyfriend, until February 3rd. So I lasted a full month of it. And I burnt out, guys. First of all, I hate running. So I was putting myself in this scenario that I hated every single day. And I was doing it at 4:30 in the morning. It was just I set myself up for failure. But I wanted to lose weight. I just didn't know how to. And so when I build my business and when I go and find the other Ashleys, I think about that person that I was pre-Beachbody. I think about that person who had zero knowledge. I literally went to the gym and ran 3 miles because I had no idea how the hell to do anything else. I just thought that was how I lost weight. And of course, I got skinny fat really quick. because I was running 3 miles every single day, but I hated my life, so it wasn't healthy. And I remember at the end of February, I had already given up on the gym. I think I was going like on the weekends now. I was laying in bed with Tyler and I was scrolling on my Instagram. And one of my childhood friends, her name is Caitlin, her transformation photo popped up and I was like, she looks like me on the left and I want to look like her on the right, like sign me up. So I reached out to her. I actually looked back and she had sent me a couple messages, but I had ignored. I reached out to her and I was like, sign me up for this. She told me the price. I was like, no. I waited like 3 weeks and I finally ended up signing up with her. And I'll tell people, I think it was $140, $140 21 Day Fix Challenge Pack. The best $140 that I've ever spent in my entire life. Honestly, 21 Day Fix changed my world. Beachbody changed my life, like through and through. And so I think back to that person I was before Beachbody. I think back to the person I was when I ordered the challenge pack. And then I think back to the person that I was getting started in the program. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I was so excited to have a meal plan that wasn't counting calories or anything. And so, guys, it's so important we remember parts of our journey so that we can relate to even if it was 3, 5, 10 years ago, what got you hooked? Help the other women get hooked exactly like you have. So I know what I was nervous about. I know what got me anxious. I know what made me fail on Saturdays. So those are like the pain points that I hit with my girls, like checking in on Sunday mornings, checking in on Saturday mornings, like just making sure, I'm putting myself back to where I was 3 years ago. So a month went by of me doing the 21 Day Fix. I was actually already signed up to be a coach. But I didn't want to actively coach. I didn't even know what that meant. Honestly, I didn't even know I was signed up to be a coach. I was doing it for the discount. I was planning on canceling Shakeology because I couldn't afford it and we were saving up for a house. But at that point, our goal was to buy a house within 2 years. Our goal was like, okay, let's get out of Tyler's parents' basement within 2 years. That would be awesome. And this was April of 2015, and Caitlin introduced this opportunity to me. And she said, look, you've got passion. The other Ashleys of the world, they deserve to feel the way you feel. I don't know if she said it in those words. Those are kind of my words, but she said something along those lines. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I have so much on my plate. I need nothing else on my plate. I can relate to the other busy people, right, in the world. But what this is, it's an outlet. And that's what I needed. I needed something that didn't take my energy, didn't take my, take everything out of me. I needed something that was gratifying and also helped me stay on track of my own journey. It was my outlet. It was everything that I needed. And so April came and Caitlin was like, hit Emerald and help 3 people. I was like, I'm just the type of person. I'm like, okay. And then, the next month came, she was like, work toward Diamond and hit Success Club. I was like, okay. And so every month it was just like I was throwing a little pebble into my pile every single day. In my first month, I was able to pay for my car insurance. In my second month, I was able to pay for my car insurance and put some in my savings. And by the third month in my business, I was getting those people who were signing up for challenge packs and stuff to fall in love with this journey with me. Because guys, I was in love with it. People feel that. People people wanted to be a part of my movement because I was in love with it. You attract what you are. If you are giving off negativity, that's exactly what you're going to attract, and you're not going to have a team. If you are passionate as all get up, be passionate, you are going to attract so many passionate people. And my third month as a coach, me and Tyler sat down and I was like, look, I'm putting every single penny away of my teaching income. And by August, we were completely living off of just Beachbody money, putting my teaching salary away, and we ended up saving a really healthy down payment for our house. And so in September of 2015, we bought our house a year and a half before we thought we were going to be able to buy a house because of this opportunity. Because I decided to get untraditional, fuck my busy schedule, and allow it to be the outlet that I needed. And so that was in September 2015. And in June of 2016, I wasn't making 6 figures. I wasn't rolling with the big guys, but I was making enough to quit my teaching job that I hated. Not that I hated it. I loved teaching, and that's what I do every single day. But I didn't love going to to a school and having principals and having cockroaches in my classroom. Like, it wasn't for me. I'm plenty fine in my office at home, cuddling my dogs. And so I quit my teaching job in 2016. I had a very stagnant year from 2016 to 2017. I sat at Diamond for almost a year and a half. And so I really want to talk to you guys about failing forward. I'm going to finish my story, but I'm going to kind of come back to that 2016 point to about mid 2017. So 2016, 2017, my income was almost the same. And it's like such a jab in my heart because I had these big goals for 6 figures and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And, why am I still talking to a brick wall? And I wasn't getting any Ashleys. I got like a couple, but they weren't running as fast as I was. And so it was in middle of 2017 that I was I'm just going to share this part now. It was like the middle of 2017 that I was like, look, it must be something that I'm doing. I'm getting high success skill points. I'm recruiting coaches, but why aren't I maxing out? Why aren't my coaches duplicating what I'm doing? And it was because I was searching for this perfect type of person. I was trying to be this perfect type of person in this business and in my life. Nobody can relate to that. I don't want the perfect type of people. I wasn't the perfect Ashley before I started this, right? I was those 5 things that made me me at the beginning of 2015 when I needed an outlet. And so when that was like my trigger, that in the middle of 2017, I was like, oh my God, I have to find more Ashley pre-Beachbody. And so my whole social media changed. More authenticity, more stories, more, weaknesses, more like transparent into my life. And from 2017, I ended up going from Diamond to 2-star to 3-star to 4-star because my coaches, they just like saw into my life. I was setting realistic expectations for my coaches. I wasn't trying to live this perfect life. People say fake it till you make it. Honestly, don't. Show people into your life. Show them that you're going to struggle. This business is hard. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to make sacrifices. But guess what? I'm going to be here whether you're with me or not. And like, get real. Like when I got real with my team, we all just started growing together. And so opened my second business center at the end of December, tripled my income at the beginning of January. We're on track to have a giant 6-figure year this year, which is, I never ever thought that I'd be able to say. It's such a cool feeling. Because I never gave up. And when times got hard, I didn't say, well, here's the towel. When times got hard, I sat back and I reflected and I said, Ashley, what could you be doing different? And so for you guys, if you can't hit Success Club, if you can't sign coaches, if you can't do this, that, or another thing, well, maybe it's something that you're doing or not doing. Maybe instead of making a to-do list, make a to-don't list. That sometimes works a little bit better. For me, I don't make to-do lists. I start with a to-don't list, what not to do today, not compare myself, not allow Netflix to pour into my workday, right? I make a to-don't list, and I have my girls also make those to-don't lists. But guys, fail forward. More than anything, you guys our journey. Yes, you're going to make it all the way to the top, but it's going to look a lot like this all the way there. And you're going to have plummets, and then you're going to skyrocket, and then you're going to plummet it again, and you're going to do all of these things. But the coolest part about being in an opportunity like this is that you're going to pick up so many cool people along the way, and you're going to be going through the rises and the falls and the rises together. And you're going to lose people that you thought were amazing, but then you're going to get somebody even better, and you're going to replace them with somebody even more amazing. I had this one coach. Her name was Bree. And Maria, I don't know if you remember her, but she signed up in January of 2017, guys. She was hitting Success Club 30. I was like, oh my gosh, she's on my week leg. I was like, oh my God, like this is everything.
What was her last
name? Bree Simpson.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I finally found my other Ashley. Guys, I woke up one morning, she was gone. I could have quit that day. She was my only active coach hitting Success Club, and she was hitting Success Club. It made me work harder. It made her work harder. I was going over to her house. We were hanging out, and then just gone. And I never heard from her. Mind you, we were like grew up, and we graduated together. And I could have thrown in the towel. But you know what I said? I said, what type of leader was I to her that made her feel that way? And then I had to sit back and I had to reflect on myself. And guys, when you reflect, that doesn't mean to get down on yourself. And if you fail, that doesn't mean to like, that you're taking steps back. It's a learning moment. It is time to like thrive. It is your opportunity to start to go here. Use it as momentum. It's kind of like you have to bend your knee in order to jump, right? You have to go down in order to get up. And so look at failure. It's a beautiful thing. I know Marie can relate to this, but like a lot of my family struggle from addiction. And so my father, for instance, he just got out of rehab. And so I see his strength, and I know that he had to hit that point in order to thrive even more. Like he's going to church now. Like my dad rode Harleys growing up. Like I see his strength, and I know what we're capable of in this business. Like we are capable of so freaking much, but we have to take full control of it. And so when you compare I always like try to compare my story to my dad or to my sister, who was also an addict, and just like allow myself to say, well, they have been so strong, recovery addict. They have been so strong in their lives that I'm going to do this for my life. I'm going to do this. And I have major food addiction. Like growing up, I battled eating disorders. For me, the biggest thing in my journey is food. And I was like, you know what? I can do 80 freaking days. Cause look at my dad. He's 60 days clean. Like I can do 80 freaking days. And so that's just something that motivates me like crazy. But you just gotta sit back. You gotta reflect on your life and like, how important is it? Is going to work every single day at a job you hate, as important to you as sitting on your couch watching Netflix when you could be working your business? Or would you trade that? Like for me, now that I work my ass off for a full year, I could sit on my couch and watch Netflix in the morning if I wanted to, but still make time for my work, right? We have to make those sacrifices in order to push harder into our businesses. But really sit back and just reflect. It's so important for you guys to reflect on your businesses and not just say, well, this person's doing this, let me do that. No, sit back and ask yourself what's working for you, what's not working for you, and just keep it simple though. All right, so let's talk about systems. I have tried hiring an assistant to pay for my followers. I have tried like getting somebody to go and like people's posts for me. I have tried like running crazy ads that don't work. I just do run ads, but I like tried crazy ads and stuff like that, guys. Nothing like we're given the basics for a reason. And I swear when we try to like reinvent the wheel, sometimes it works, but more than likely, it's probably not going to work. And so for me, whenever I go out of my comfort zone, I'm like, okay, let me just like more so in like 2016 when I was like trying to find my wheels in this business, I would like try to like reinvent everything, and it didn't work. My business started to go like this when I was just like, Ashley, make a list and follow it every single day. And you want to know how simple my list is? You guys are going to be blown away. You ready? Follow, unfollow on Instagram. So follow 100 people. And then I go through, and the next day I unfollow a bunch of people. So I do this every single day. And then I do 3 types of invites on Instagram. I don't invite on Facebook at all. I do 3 types of invites on Instagram. I invite by their name. And so if you go to your Instagram profile and you click your followers, what I do is like that day I'll type like the name Ashley in. I'll invite everybody whose name is Ashley. The next day I'll type in like the name Tiffany. I'll invite everybody whose name is Tiffany. Like this is, and then the next day, let's say Carly. I'll invite everybody whose name is Carly. And so what I do is my notebook is downstairs, but I have a little notebook like this, and it has 24 lines on it. And if you guys are in the Diamond group, yeah, like that. It has 24 lines on it. And so I'll do 2 columns, 1 column and another column. So 48. So I know that in a day I have to send 48 invites. So I'll start by doing names. So I'll like do like all the Ashleys who follow me, all the Tiffanys who follow me, all the Carlys who follow me, and I'll fill up a bunch of lines. And then this is like my tracking method. And then the next day I'll go and invite, or sorry, not the next day, the next task, I'll go and invite off of my story. So I do this every day. So of course it's going to be a lot of the same invites that I'm sending. So I need to find people who I haven't invited in a while. And then I'll fill up more people, maybe like 10 to 15 people on the next column of people who are watching my stories. I'll invite them, the same thing. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll invite like 10 people based on a hashtag. A hashtag I like is like Beagle Mom because I have dogs, or like Rescue Mom. Like random crap, like Shein bathing suits, Cupshe bathing suits. Like I'll try to find like any type of hashtag, and I don't have like set ones. I'll like just whatever I'm like thinking of that day, that's what I'll use. But I make sure that every day I fill up 48 lines. Of course my notebook's downstairs, but fill up all 48 lines. So you know you're getting 48 invites out every single freaking day. Can you imagine what this is going to do for your business if you get 48 invites out every single day? And then if you really want to do more, flip it over, do 48 more. And then the last thing I do is I follow more people and I unfollow more people. So like this is an hour. I'll do these 5 tasks in 1 hour. Follow, unfollow, invite based on their name, invite based on their story, invite based on hashtags, and then follow, unfollow again. Like simple.
Hey, I have a quick question. So why do you unfollow? So you follow them to get the message to them, and then you unfollow, and then if they show interest, it's worth your while to keep following them?
I'm not unfollowing the same person. So let's say I follow Sally.
Because I saw you're only following like 700 and something people, and I was like, I was kind of interested in that.
Yeah. So like if I follow Sally that day, I'm not going to unfollow her. I'm going to unfollow other people. Like I'll scroll further down and unfollow other people that I haven't like built relationships with. Or a lot of people use the Cleaner app. I do like the Cleaner app. I use that like a couple times a month, but I'm like so set in my ways, and I just like don't want to change anything that works for me. So I just
get that.
Yeah, I just do what I've like always done.
And like 48, this chart with 48, I'm like, that's all I'm gonna add because I'm gonna get like my brain's gonna explode.
But honestly, like
yeah,
it's been a huge change in my business, making sure, like I just did it when I was at my in-laws' house for dinner. Like I just sat on the couch and did all of them. Of course, I didn't have my notebook in front of me, but I'm going to have to go in tonight and write their names down. So quick and simple.
Are you sending the same thing to all 48 people?
Yep. So like, here's an invite that I just sent. Here's the one I did tonight. Oh, don't die, phone. Oh, my phone just died.
what?
Okay, let me think about it. Okay, so it said, hey girlfriend, I always say hey GF. Hey GF, I'm on day 32 of my 80-day program and it's freaking changing my world. And I'll do like a cartwheel. And then it'll say, what would you think about starting your meal and workout plan and diving in with me? ... Let's hold each other accountable, ? And guys, out of 43 people, I probably get 4 people to respond. Then I tell like 4 people about it. Maybe 1 person will order. But I make sure that, this might sound crazy, but for me, I heard this from Haley Christian. She's like, make it a non-negotiable. Like for me, I have to help 1 person change their life every night. It's like, if I can sell 1 challenge pack a day, then I know that, my numbers are going to be high enough that I'm changing a ton of lives and recruiting a lot of coaches and I'm crushing it, right? So for me, it's like a matter of my hair is going to fall out if I don't send out these invites and help 1 person change their life each month or each night. And so it's like 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, okay, I haven't changed a life yet. Guess who's doing more invites? I'm doing more invites and I'm sharing with more people and I'm, and maybe your goals aren't as big as mine, and that's totally fine. If you're cool with just hitting Success Club 6, that's awesome. But if you were sitting at Success Club 4 at the end of the month, and you were like, well, I've done everything that I can, your hair is going to fall out by midnight tonight, you will get it done. If you guys honestly treat this business like the business that it is, the problem with network marketing is that so many people don't treat it like a business. You see Melanie Mitro, you see Lindsay Matway, you see Brittany Legatt creating 7 figures out of this. This is a business through and through. more than any other company, but it's untraditional. That's why people are so afraid of making it like lifelong. But if you guys were to pour yourself into it, it's just like you're pouring into your full-time job, and give it 2 years, 3 years. I didn't give it my all my first year. It's exactly why I plummeted for a full year. And that's okay, because you know what? That's an experience. And that's, you know, I can turn around and I can help my girls. Like, my girls are all coming out of the gate so much stronger than I ever did, because I have a story to tell them, because I can help them out of that and help them find themselves. And I am the strong mentor that I needed coming into this that I didn't have. And so we learn and we grow. Treat this like a freaking business. Be the mentor that you need. Be the mentor that your girls need, and treat it like a business. People call me the walking FAQ because it's a business, because I'm so serious about it. And I need to know this shit because it's my business. It's my full-time job. And guess what? It pays me just like a full-time job does. So we have to treat it like that. The hardest part about it is that corporate America pays us a fixed price, you know, the week after, and we have a boss to check into. You've got to treat it like this. You've got to treat yourself as a boss. And, you know, there's always going to be two different types of people. There's going to be people who show up to themselves and people who don't show up to themselves. You have an option. You have a choice, and you're in full control of it. You've got to be that person, because you're on this call for a reason. You are. So, you know, be that person. You have a choice. Anybody can be successful in this freaking business. Is there anything else you want me to touch on?
No, I mean, that was awesome. I mean, definitely thank you for sharing all of that, because I mean, that is what we needed to hear. And I wrote down some great takeaways from everything that you said tonight. And my biggest ones were making a stop doing list. Mm-hmm. So what is holding you guys back? I mean, you know, you'll send me, I'll even hear messages like, oh, you know, I was starting to self-doubt and this and that. That's normal. Write it out, guys. Make a story about it. Put it on Facebook that you're doubting yourself. If you're waking up every single day like you're freaking so happy and you love your life and you killed your workout and it's 4 a.m., I am never going to join you, because that tells me it's too freaking hard, right? So, I mean, those things are so important. The stop doing list, failing forward. Hello, failing forward. You guys, like literally myself as your mentor, I've probably only been really gaining momentum, I'd say probably for the past maybe 24 months, you know, because I was my biggest obstacle. It was no one else, you know, and dealing with that and all of those thoughts. Think about where your business would be if you're like, okay, I'm scared. I'm not, you know, working out every day, but I need some accountability. And I love how you said that, Ashley, like putting that out there, doing this with people, like doing this with other people out there and bringing them into your world and falling in love with your journey and their journey is so, so important. Think about the person you were before Beachbody, you know, not looking for that perfect person, finding people that want to make a change, that are doing that 9 to 5, that, or, you know, that don't like showing up for a job every day, or even people that, there's some of you guys on here that, you know, love your full-time job, but maybe you guys just need that extra accountability. You know, whatever your story is, look for those people as you're building your tribe. And I think that the biggest thing, Ashley, that I loved the most that you said was those little pebbles every day that you add. And I think the biggest thing, and Michelle Katz and I have talked about this before, is if you look at everything and you get so overwhelmed by it, you become frozen and you don't even know how to put one foot in front of the other or how to even start. You know, I mean, raise your hand honestly if you have felt like that. You know, I mean, I know I have. Like, join this training, do this call, do this, do that, do this, do that. But if you focus on what you can control, and I remember 3 years ago when I called Pat and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm going to quit. Like, I love you guys. Thanks so much. Like, this whole thing was great. And he said to me, why don't you focus on what you can control? So what can you control? If you think about it mentally right now, you can't control that Sally said she was going to buy a challenge pack from you and she's probably going to back out on you. So if you're waiting on that one person, you know, that you think's going to do it on Friday, she might not. You know, you can't control that. But what can you control? You can control waking up and drinking your Shakeology every morning. You can control working out. You can control sharing your journey, the peaks, the valleys, the ups and the downs. And that is what draws people to you. And Ashley, I loved how you said that part about, just being authentic, sharing your journey, sharing what you do, sharing what works, sharing what doesn't work. Because I think for a while, even for myself a couple years ago, I thought that I had to be this like perfect person that was, so happy every morning and was waking up every morning just to work out. And when I just was me, those people that you guys are scared to be like, and you're like, oh, well, I can't do what you're doing, Marie, or I can't do what you're doing, Vicki, or I can't do what Danielle's doing, or I can't do what Steve's doing. You don't need to do what they're doing. Do what you're doing. And if you fall in love with your journey, guys, you should have so much crap on your phone that like you're like an Instagram like whore, Facebook whore, because you're posting so much stuff. You're like, hello, slow down. Like I ate this pre-workout meal. I drank this shake. I walked my dog. I went for a bike ride. My hair's frizzy. I curled it. Like I ate a strawberry. Like there's so much crap that you could be sharing that like it doesn't even have to be fabulous. Like people will follow you just because you got gel pens. Like, and you went to TJ Maxx. Like people love that. Like share it on your stories, not your wall. Not your wall. Share it on your stories, yeah. Oh my God, I love gel pens. I just bought these. I was like, yes. So yeah, all of those things. And I know I'm like super talker. I always tell myself like, don't talk too much. So what question do you have to tell you? I do that. Like I'll go, even I went out with my husband and I'll have to be like, don't manipulate the conversation when you're talking to people, like let other people talk. So what are your guys' questions? Because I get on a rant and I'm like, I have a list for everything, like all the stuff I want to talk to you guys about, but I have to shut up. So what questions do you guys have for Ashley while she's on here? You've got to have some questions. She's kind of a badass, so like question away.
Ashley, how long are you waiting to actually do the invite? How long are you waiting after you make the connection to do the invite on Instagram? I can't hear. She's unmuted.
Oh.
She's muted.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Instagram, the beauty of it is that it's very impersonal. So Facebook, I would wait like 3 weeks after having that initial connection. Instagram, right off the bat, very
okay.
cold messages. But here's the thing. I only send messages to the people who are following me.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than hashtags. I'll send like 10 hashtag invites a day based on what the hashtag is. Does that make sense?
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so if they're following me and I can tell like, they're seeing my crap, like I'm posting like crazy, they're seeing my authenticity, then I'm going to send them that message.
Now, are you using hashtags mainly on people that are following you too as well, just to kind of gauge the audience a little bit?
No, I don't really do that too much. I'm not a big hashtag person. I'll do hashtags on my photo, but then the only other time I use hashtags is when I do those like 10 invites a day.
Got it.
But other than that, I'm not a big hashtag person. That's definitely something I need to work on.
Yeah, me too. Okay, got it.
You're muted, Mike.
Duh. Sorry. Are you still doing the 5-3-1 kind of thing that we did back in the day, or are you just going for it and running a lot of numbers and inviting?
I'm running a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
No 5-3-1s.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not either, so I was just kind of wondering that. I do have one. I know I'm talking too much, but I do want to ask you one more question that might help me. So, what do you do to help with possible burnout or being overwhelmed? What are some things that you do personally to, keep going every day or cope with possible, burnout, maybe like symptoms or whatever? Like, how do you
with
deal
myself
with that?
or with my coaches?
With yourself in the business, or when your coaches come to you and they feel super overwhelmed by everything, like what are some things you do?
Well, in November, so in July of 2017, I picked up my life. We moved a couple into our house that we own, and we rented out an apartment in Rochester. And that was the hardest point in my life because I questioned everything that had to do with my lifestyle. I was making like a full-time income, but I wasn't making like all the money that I wanted to make. And there came a point where I was working at my brother owns a CrossFit gym, and I was like helping him like run Facebook ads and stuff. And there came a point where I was like, what am I like? I was questioning everything that Beachbody had to do with. And I knew I wanted Beachbody, but I was like, God, how long do I have to do it to like feel like thrive? And guys, mind you, this was just a couple months ago, and I had like rock star points in my business. Like I quit my full-time job, like, but I always wanted more, and you guys are always going to want more in this business. Then December came, and I was going through the motions of this business. I was still helping my girls hit Success Club, but I was like burnt out. I was like, I was hitting Success Club myself, but the one thing that I wasn't doing that I know was the reason was that I was not engaged in my journey. I was gaining weight. I was eating whatever the hell I wanted to. I was going to my parents' cottage and I was eating fruit tarts like every other night. And I was literally on vacation for 5 months, and my business felt it. I came into January almost not back where I started. That would have been a lot of weight. But I came back into my journey where I was like, oh my God, you have been a coach for almost 3 years, Ashley. What are you doing to yourself? I am the coach that I would never want. And so again, it took me sitting back and saying, what do I have to do? And I was like, perfect. 80-day obsession is going to give me everything that I need. And so when I burnt out, Marie, I think it's just about sitting back and saying, well, what else can I control? Again, going back to Pat, the reason we burn out is because clearly we have a deficit somewhere in our businesses. We're not thriving for a reason. There's always something more that we can do. Sit back and ask yourself, well, what else can I control that I'm not controlling right now? And also cut out the things that you can't control, like negative Nancy's on your team. Like that was bringing me down heavily because I had a couple people who I mentored, but I felt like weren't my tribe. And so it was something that I had like nip in the butt. But for me, it was like, go away from all the negativity, be the coach that I needed 3 years ago, and find what made me fall in love with this business all over again. And it was falling in love with my journey. So that for me is like that's my biggest thing is if you're not successful in this business, it's because you're not freaking obsessed with your journey, hands down. So when I have a coach who comes to me and they're like, oh, I feel like nothing's working. I'm like, how was your nutrition this week? Oh, it could have been better. Exactly. How are your workouts? Oh, I did 3. Exactly. Be a challenger this week. I don't want to see you once in the coaching group. Be a challenger this week. I'm going to check up with you on Wednesday. I want you to do every single one of your workouts. I'll ask you how you feel every time. My first coach I ever signed in this business, one of my very best friends in the world, she was struggling in this business. And I said, look, put coaching to the side right now. You are the reason you fell in love with this. You've got to fall in love with your journey again. She's come back at Success Club 10 this month. Like took last month off, came back stronger than ever, is about to hit diamond, like rock star, because she took time to fall in love again. Like that's what it's about. Fall in love with your journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And I think you can relate to that, Randy. I mean, I'm like watching you right now, and you, like, Randy, you came out like a freaking rock star like after December, and you've just fallen in love with your journey. And I feel like everyone's just on social media everywhere is like falling in love with you, and that's the biggest thing, because you've got to be on a journey to share a journey. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. What other questions do you guys have?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So today I challenged myself because I heard if you do the call of action in your Insta stories, that people will have feedback. And I actually got feedback from it for the first time, but I was always scared to put it in my storyline. Like I actually went live and I posted it, and then people were responding. So
Can you give us an example of what it was?
so I just got finished with my workout, so you can tell that I was sweating, and then I was like out of breath. And I was like, okay, guys. So I finished my workout, and I was reminding people, remember, I do challenges monthly. I'm looking for 3 to 5 women who are getting ready to get into the March Madness with me, so inbox me or, talk to me about, your wants, your needs. And then it went off, and then I had like 8 different women liking it. So I went in instantly and messaged them. So
That's
it's just
awesome.
like, I didn't have anything written down. It was just how I felt. But I was in that group where Carl Deichler was talking, and he said to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go into your Insta stories and tell them, like, you're looking instead of just typing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did, and I got feedback.
Good. Awesome. Keep doing that. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's what you were telling me earlier that you did, and I was like, oh my gosh. And you've had, I mean, Dedra, this is like one of your top months that you've had. I mean, you're going Strong Success Club back to back, like you're involved in all those groups, you're getting on all the calls, you're sharing your journey. You and Danielle are going live, doing, attraction marketing, pulling in your market with the fashion stuff, from the Southern girl to with the New York City girl. Those are awesome. My whole family watched that. Like we were in it. So that was great, by the way. I meant to tell you that. All right. Does anyone else have a question for Ashley before we wrap this up tonight? All right, guys. Well, it wouldn't, obviously, if we don't take a picture, then it doesn't count because we have to post about it, right? So we're going to do our little heart, we make little heart. It's always hard because I need to like get a tripod. One day I'll get really good and get a tripod. But everyone make a little heart, and here we go. Brandy, heart. No, you can do whatever you want. I love you. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All right. And thank you so much, Ashley, for taking time out of your night. And if you guys have not signed up for a one-on-one call with me or signed up for Summit yet, or you have no idea what I'm talking about with either of those, please reach out to me and I'll shoot you over those links. So have a good night, guys. Hey, Amanda. I just saw you, girlfriend. Good to see you on here. Bye, guys.
It's hard to do a heart with one hand.
I know. Did you say it's hard to fart with one hand?
Yes. No, it's hard to.
Oh my God, was that call not
awful.
so good? Like those of you that are new, like literally, like Ashley is like one of the top coaches. Like that was pretty cool to have her on there.
Yeah, that was good.
I wanted to get all her secrets because like literally, like now that she's not on here, I'm just gonna tell you what. But like sometimes like, I mean, cause I'm running with her, like we're kind of on the same level, but sometimes I'm like, what are they doing? You know, like what are these people doing that I'm not doing? And I think the biggest thing is we get so scared. You know, I need to stop recording.